Overcoming the fear of getting on camera. One of the biggest fears entrepreneurs need to overcome in this age of social media to be able to get their business off the ground. So, hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. I want to talk today about this very important topic that I see over and over again with most entrepreneurs when they're starting the business, whether it is if they're coaching, whether it is, selling products, services, whatever that is, what people are looking for nowadays is to connect with a person that they're going to buy something from. Because seriously, if you think about this, would you just, if you see, I don't know, an ad or something online, it's just going to buy, if it's, I don't know, $200 or $300, just like that, go in there and say, oh, look at this ad, boom, and buy it. No, because most people have had problems, right? Whether it is a scam, whether it is, a really shitty product or whatever, even shitty services. So people want to get to know you, your values, your lifestyle, who you are before they want to buy something from you. I'm not talking about $5, $10. We're talking about bigger, costs of prices to buy something. So one of the things that most entrepreneurs struggle, and now that AI is out, are trying to use AI, and you have all these people on social media saying how I became a millionaire without showing my face. Yes, they became a millionaire because they are solving, quote unquote, a problem that most people are struggling with. And I've seen it before that. Another thing that came out many years ago, it was how I become a millionaire selling over Messenger without needing to have a call and needing to meet people face to face. Or another guy before, how I became a millionaire by, a VSL that I, recorded once and then boom, or a course or whatever. And most of the time, seriously, the people that this guy, that AI, right? How did I become a millionaire by, using AI without showing my face? Is because it's hitting on what most people struggle with. So the course maybe was $100, $200, but as it just launched, and a lot of people were in that pain, and for the first time, somebody was solving it without needing to show their face. Most people threw themselves into that. But the truth is, the person that is selling that service became millionaires by hitting, something. If they become a millionaire, in most cases, they're bullshit, right? But by solving a big pain that most people have, they don't want to go into cameras. So if you look at people that are selling services or products and they're not getting on camera, they want a solution for that. And what would be the best solution to get, how to be able to sell your services, your products without showing your face? But the problem is when people start implementing that, coaching or services or consulting or even products, most people wouldn't buy. And it was a shocker because this guy over here made $1 million or more by selling without showing his face. Yes, but people had such a big pain with this that they would go for that. But the truth is, again, most people nowadays want to connect with you, not with AI, not with a faceless, crappy whatever. They want to connect with a person. They want to get to know you. They want to know your lifestyle, where you live, what you do, your family, if you have a family. And you didn't need to put your kids' pictures if you don't want to, but is they want to know more about who you are. So, as I said in the last video that I did last week or the week before, it was people want to buy a transformation. They don't want to buy a service or a product. They're looking for a transformation. But on top of looking for a transformation, now they want to connect with a person that is selling that transformation. So, again, it is very important that we show our face. We got to stop this nonsense that without showing your face, you're going to be able to sell a lot. Because the truth is, most people are not doing. The only people that are making a lot of money are the ones that are selling the idea that you can sell without showing your face. And if you look back, this has been happening since, I don't know, 100 or more years, when people would sell the shovels to look for the gold, or the maps to find the gold. So somebody's saying that they became millionaires by, the gold that they found, but they're selling the shovels or the maps to find more gold. So if you find a gold mine, why would you sell the maps to find gold mines or the shovel? you would go and get the gold by yourself, right? As people say, oh, I became a millionaire in Etsy and I'm going to teach you how to become a millionaire with Etsy. Or I became a millionaire with Amazon reviews and now I'm going to teach you how to become a millionaire. No, those people find a way to make money. Don't get me wrong. Most of them, right, are not, but some of them were able to make some money. But now they're selling the courses because that's what people are desperate for. And that's what's making them millionaires. So they're selling a lie, most of them. So I want to bring this very important information for you guys, because if it is going to be very difficult to get your business off the ground if you don't get out there. But we need to understand that faceless is not working for most people. Seriously. If the people that made millions was the ones that were selling the maps to the gold or the shovels, that tells you something. And that happened, many, many years ago. I don't know if we can go back to at least a century ago. So seriously, think about that. So some time ago it was, go high level, or you're one funnel away. So Russell Brunson became a millionaire by selling how to become a millionaire. So now people are selling that you don't need to show your face to be able to sell your services, your products, but most people are not being able to do it. Okay, so now I want to introduce how you can start overcoming the fear of getting on camera, because a lot of people struggle with this. I've been working with entrepreneurs for years now, years and years and years, and I've seen that this is one of the main biggest fears that entrepreneurs need to work on to be able to get their business off the ground. It's not going to happen if they don't face this fear. Okay, so we've dealt with, you're not going to be able to sell, most people out there are not going to be able to sell their services or their products with faceless stuff. Okay, let's start with that. Second of all, the important to understand is that emotions are not negative or like good or bad. Sorry, good or bad. They're negative or positive, but that doesn't mean that they're good or bad. It just means that they're emotions. So one of the things that we have been taught since childhood is that fear is bad. Don't be scared. Don't be a whiner. Whether it is at school, whether it is at home, we were taught that feeling fear was wrong. No wonders why most entrepreneurs struggle to get their business off the ground by getting on camera, because again, when you do something that you're not used to, you're going to feel scared. The thing is, if the mind has learned that fear is bad, it's going to go back to the comfort zone to stay comfortable without facing the fears that are outside the comfort zone. Because outside the comfort zone, you have the fear zone. So whatever you do that is different to what you normally do, you're going to feel fear. Whether it is starting your own profile on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, doesn't matter. That is different to the things that you normally do. Fear. Now you're going to start posting about a service or a product that you have. Fear. That's not something that you normally do. Then you're going to start reaching out to people. That's not something that you normally do. Boom. Now you're going to start trying to create content, right? Putting your face out there, and that is not something you normally do. Then you're going to try, depending on what you have, normally you're going to try to talk to people to offer your services or your products. That's not something you normally do. And I get a lot of people that are in sales and tell me, but Tommy, I normally do that. I can do it for others, but I cannot do it for myself. Exactly. Because that is telling me that there is something that needs to be dealt within you. Because doing it for somebody else, they're going to reject the company, right? That is not yours. But if you're offering them something that you are offering, even if it's a product from somebody else, but you're buying that product and you're trying to sell it, or you're doing coaching or consulting or whatever, they're going to reject you. And I work with lots of salespeople that were struggling to get their business off the ground. Seriously. And they were good selling other people's stuff, but they were not able to sell what they had to sell. Okay, so again, it has to do with facing our fears. Most people have learned to deny their fears, repress their fears, or walk away from the zone that is creating the fear. So again, we have the comfort zone, and outside the comfort zone, you have the fear zone. So when you're doing things that you're normally not used to, it's going to make it difficult to be able to do them. So again, what I would recommend is that you start feeling your emotions. Scared. I feel scared of, looking at myself in the camera or others looking at me online like that. Okay, how do I feel? The three magic questions that I have, and there's more, but at least to start with, how do I feel? Scared. I feel shame. I feel regret. I feel sadness. I feel whatever. What do you feel? Then, as you write those different emotions down, and instead of fear, you could feel anxiety or stress, that normally behind that, you can find fear, right? So, how do I feel? And not the logic side. First, try to feel the emotions, feel them, allow them to be in there, not to kick them away, repress them or anything. So, okay, I feel scared, feel the fear. What part of my body do I feel mostly the fear? Allow it to coexist within you. The next question, second question, why do I feel this? Oh, I'm scared of what people are going to say. Okay, that's valid. You're scared of what people are going to say. So, third question, go through how do I feel? Why do I feel fear? Why do I feel, I don't know, shame? Why do I feel, sadness? Why do I feel the different emotions? Try to find the narratives that you're trying to tell yourself, right? So I'm scared of people, that what they're going to say about me. Okay, how would it make me feel about myself if somebody says something bad? So the third question is, how is it going to this make me feel about myself? And most people that I work with, they tell me, oh, Tommy, it makes me feel, that I'm a failure, that I'm not good enough, that I'm rejected. There you go. That is something that was built in your mind during childhood, because a baby doesn't come to this world thinking that they're a failure, that they're not good enough. Because if a baby came to this world thinking that they're a failure, they're not good enough, they never would have learned how to talk. They never would have learned how to walk, because those are difficult things to do. And you see babies going through that learning process, and if they're trying to learn how to walk, they fall, they bang themselves with the floor, with different parts of furnitures, right? Or when a baby's trying to learn how to talk, they rumble and mumble, and they cannot put two words together, two letters together, or maybe two or three letters together, maybe, right? But they cannot make any sense, and they keep trying and trying and trying till they do it. So why are we not doing that same thing as we were kids? Something happened along the way that little kid that would try over and over again till he or she was able to do it. What happened in the process? Something happened. And this is what I wanted you to realize. The environment started teaching you, and as you start developing more your prefrontal cortex, you started creating limiting negative and false beliefs about yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to make it. I'm a failure. I'm inadequate. There's something wrong with me. Those beliefs you started creating and then reinforces along your timeline. And now as a grown-up, unfortunately, when you try to do things that could confirm that you're not good enough, that you're you're not valuable, that you got nothing to say. I was working with a guy that when he was a kid, he was never allowed to say anything. So he had believed that he had nothing to share. He had nothing to say. And that was getting in the way of building his business, because he was scared. Now as an adult, and he's in his 50 something, he was scared of speaking up and showing his services, because he was scared what people would say or reject him or whatever. So we started working on that. He started building his confidence, reconnecting with his confidence, with that little kid that was able to learn how to walk, how to, play, how to run, how to speak, all of that. And he was able to slowly start getting out there and sharing what he does. And that's the idea. So first of all, understanding that selling without your face, most of the times it's not going to work. It only works for the people that sell it. I have come across many years ago a lot of people that were selling the magic messages that you can send to people to get them to buy from you without even having to talk to them over phone, Zoom, or whatever. They became millionaires by filling a gap of something that people felt a lot of pain to do. But actually, the people that were trying to implement that didn't make much money. with their business and their services. Seriously, I've seen it. I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years, and I've seen people that come and go selling something that is going to solve the biggest pain and charging $2, $3, $5,000, and people, a lot of people investing, and then these people making a lot of money, but the rest down there not getting much results, and then these guys disappearing from the online space, but with a lot of money from people. Now AI is the new thing that people are saying, that you know how you can become a millionaire or even a billionaire by using AI. So you have all these people teaching you how to use AI, the courses, programs to teach you AI, right? So that you can become the next millionaire while they are becoming millionaires by telling you that they're going to teach you how to become a millionaire. If you look back, Russell Brunson, you are one funnel away of becoming a millionaire. His big, phrase is, you are one funnel away of that, of what? Becoming a millionaire. And a lot of people bought into that. And don't get me wrong, the funnel thing is great, don't get me wrong. But out of the people in his program, less than 1%, of the people in his program have made $1 million. That is some food for thought. If less than 1% of the people in his program have made $1 million, the other 99% that they're one funnel away, what happened? So again, people bring these, magic things that are going to make you a millionaire, are going to transform your life overnight, and people throw money at them, right? And then nothing happens. So we need to show our face. We need to stop this nonsense of I can sell without showing my face. Normally, it's not going to happen. Normally, I'm not saying for everyone. And the next thing is we need to start facing our fears. Understanding that it's okay to be scared. How many times, now we're getting more used to, but how many times have you been talking to someone and seeing yourself as you're talking? How many times have you experienced that? Seeing yourself live while you're talking, how you're moving, how your eyebrows move, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, how your hair looks like live. You're not used to that. So that is threatening. That is, in a way, scary. But instead of facing it, what people do, they go back and hide and try to find other ways to get their business off the ground with this faceless whatever, or this next messenger thing, messages that are going to solve my problem or whatever. And it doesn't work, unfortunately. So the idea is understanding that you need to show your face. People need to get to know you. And second of all, it's going to bring a lot of fear facing yourself in a camera that you're not used to. Normally, we're used to people filming us, right? Filming us. You're not seeing yourself. It has been in the past, 20 years that we started to see ourselves in the camera. And most people, they do FaceTime, but they have themselves very small, so they don't see all the details of what's going on in their face as they're talking. And that is scary. That is weird. My kids that have been exposed to that since very small, seeing themselves in a camera. Now my kids are doing videos. They don't have their YouTube channel. Those things are small yet. I'm not going to let them till they're very, older in their teenage years, like high teenage years, right? But they do videos talking about whatever. The other day, my kid did a presentation for school, and it was amazing. And he looked at himself and he edited the video and everything, and he is used to it. We are not used to it. And on top of that, it's going to bring all our unresolved issues. How I don't like myself. I don't like my voice. I don't like how I look. And I used to detest myself. I used to reject myself so much. I had a picture of me as a little, it's still there in my parents' house. There's a portrait of me, little kid. I might be 2, 3 years old. And I used to look at that kid when I was much younger, and I hated that picture. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. Why? Because I had felt a lot of rejection growing up at school, girls and things like that. I was kind of the stupid kid at school, so girls didn't want to be with me. So I started reaffirming that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't good looking, I was ugly or whatever. And I made that up in my mind. So when I had to start going into camera and looking at myself at that moment, all of that baggage came up to the surface. I had to deal with it to be able to now do these lives, share myself, show myself to you guys so I can help you. So it's important to start working on these things, because if not, if you don't face that fear, if you don't start getting used to seeing yourself and dealing with whatever unresolved issues you have from the past, it's not going to allow it. And if you don't do it, the chances of having a business are going to go down exponentially. So thank you very much for listening. Let me know what you think about this live. If you enjoyed it, if you want to learn more, follow me, subscribe on the Facebook, on YouTube channel, because I go live and I share insight and tools that are going to help you start being able to face the fear of getting on camera and start getting on camera and getting your business off the ground. So thank you very much, and I'll see you